I don't know Kurt Helin from Pro Basketball Talk. Maybe he just has the misfortune of being born around the same time as Nikola Jokic, or for that matter, Giannis Antetokounmpo. It might be as simple as that. I mean, 44 points, 17 rebounds, 5 blocks, 3 3-pointers, and 3 assists in 38 minutes against the Cavs last night. It's not like, I mean, how many more MVP statements can he make? And just for context purposes, since the merger, only Russell Westbrook and Moses Malone have had more 40-point, 10-rebound games in a season than Joel Embiid has this year. They each had one more. They each had 12 in the season. Embiid has 11 such games. Both those guys won MVPs. But he's competing with Nikola Jokic and Giannis. And even if you want to go farther down the ballot, Luka, who's got as many 30-point, 15-assist games as everybody else in the league combined. So, Kurt Helin, I will not subject you to a simple, who's your MVP today question. I'll ask it like this. What is your MVP-related thought today? How's that? No sense in putting you in the corner when it comes to picking a guy today.
It is. I feel really bad for Joel Embiid because I think almost any other year he'd run away with this thing. Like, he would win this thing pretty comfortably most seasons, and he's going to finish third. And right now he is third on my ballot, and I don't think he's moving out of that position, because I have Giannis and Jokic as a coin flip. I right now, look, it's made me think a lot about what the criteria are for me, how I am going to choose this. And for this, I really genuinely put importance on, this is the most valuable player. So the value to the team matters. Embiid has clearly done that. Don't get me wrong. He's had to go without Ben Simmons for a long stretch and carried that team. But I don't think anybody's had to carry the load Jokic has. And that's kind of why I have him first, is that at the end of the day, look, we could talk about the stats or the on-off. Who's the second best player in Denver? Probably Aaron Gordon, right? Where's Aaron Gordon on those other two teams? He's the fourth best player on some of those teams. Like, I think that how far Jokic has had to lift them ultimately is what kind of puts him over the top for me compared to the load the other two had to carry. But there isn't a bad choice. I was. If you'd asked me the same question Friday, I'd be singing Giannis. I don't know.
Well, we were. I mean, we had a whole conversation about it, Michael, which I was going to reference in a moment. Yeah. But just to nerd out for a second on Nikola Jokic, and in that conversation, I'm going to quote myself for purposes of getting your thoughts, Kurt. So Jokic is the first player in the top 10 in points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, and field goal percentage in the last 50 seasons. He's on pace to have the highest single-season PER ever. He's averaging 27, 14, and 8, which will be the first 25, 13, and 6 season ever. Okay? So a while back, I don't remember when it was, and Michael has reminded me of this. He reminded me of this on Friday. A while back, I said you'd be crazy to cast your vote for anybody else other than Nikola Jokic. And then Giannis goes crazy, and Embiid keeps doing his thing. And so that's the one thing that I walked back on Friday, is the you be crazy to vote for anybody else because such a close race. But then I look at stuff like this, and I was like, well, wait, maybe I was right. Maybe it is Jokic, and everything else is just, it's good fodder. But at the end of the day, how do you go against that?
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't think ultimately at the end of the day, he's just had to put up these incredible numbers for them to be in the mix. And by the way, there's people who, I know that there's people out there who've done I think the 5 seed now, they were the 6 seed. Like, they're all with the Bucks, 76ers, and Nuggets are always really within, I didn't look this morning, but like a game of each other, basically. Like, they're all really close in record. So that part doesn't count to me. It's what you had to do on the court. And I just can't go, I'm with you, I just can't go against what Jokic has had to do in terms of putting up these numbers to get this team where he was. Because if he wasn't this good, they'd be in the play-in. Like, this isn't that good a team. They're not getting, they're not getting quarterback. They hint at Murray, but really, do you want to just, hey, you've been out for about a year. You want to go into the highest, most intense games there are? I don't think we're going to see Murray. So it's been all Jokic all year. And I will say this, the Giannis thing, I just started on the Giannis bandwagon a few weeks ago when I saw him live in person, and it wasn't a particularly great Giannis game. It was a run-of-the-mill Giannis game. And you watch how he dominates on both ends, how he controls the flow of play, how he impacts everything. You're like, man, nobody. Does anybody else in the? I mean, I'll ask you guys: does anybody else in the league really impact games on both ends the way he does?
Well, that's why, and I'll follow up one more time before I know Michael wants to transition. But that's why I want to go back to Friday. Why are you laughing? Too much inside baseball?
No, just laughing too. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Because Friday,
get that shot up.
Friday, this is the conversation Michael and I had. There's MVP, and then there's best player in the game.
Yeah.
And usually that guy is a finals MVP that puts up 50 points in a closeout game and is in a top 3, MVP candidate and a top 3 defensive player of the year candidate. So just as I said, for Jokic, it's kind of like, it's clearly Jokic with all due respect. For best player in the game, should that even still be a debate at this point for best player in the game? Is that not obviously Giannis?
I don't know that it's obvious. This is so close. Giannis is, to me, I'm with you, the best player in the game because of how he impacts both ends. I don't know that anybody since like peak Kawhi Leonard has really impacted everything the same way, but he really does. I mean, his ability on defense to kind of play key roles and not just lock down guys. He's more of a free safety, right? He's just more dangerous, looming off the ball, blocking shots. And they've asked him to do it a lot this year. They didn't get Brooks back until a couple weeks ago and say, hey, Giannis, you got to be our shot blocking big. And he did it. So it's been amazing. He has been incredible this season. And at the end of the day, Jokic I think you're right. He's just had the best season. He's had to have the best season, and he's been the most valuable guy to his team. And we've talked about all this for a while. Embiid's right there, dude. Yeah,
I know, right?
I feel bad for that.
You know what, Kurt and Michael, it seems like the top of the Eastern Conference is kind of reflective of, or it mirrors the MVP race, where, every game just shifts the order. So you got Miami at the top, and then Milwaukee's right there, and Boston's right there, and Philadelphia's right there. And I'm wondering, Kurt, if you think, all right, is there a Jokic team, so to speak, where it'd be like, come on now. We know who the best team in the Eastern Conference is, because I don't know who it is. Is it Milwaukee? Is it Philly? I have no idea. You tell me, Kurt. Is there one team that's just sitting there waiting, saying, let's wait till the playoffs start. You know what we do, and we're about to do it.
I'm gonna say, I'll ask you. This is how I would do it. I would take the field over any one team in the East right now. Like, if I were betting, I don't trust one of those teams to dominate. But if I had to pick one, I think the one team capable of really flipping the switch is the Bucks. I really think that they've gotten healthy. And as we mentioned, they've got that Giannis Antetokounmpo guy. He's pretty good. But they've also just done it before. Haven't they acted like champions all season, guys? Haven't they been we'll get there. We can flip the switch. Haven't they looked like that all season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a feeling push comes to shove, they've got another gear or two that they haven't really shown yet. And I'm not sold that the Heat do. I'm not sold that anybody else does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's as simple as that. Maybe it's as simple as that. They got the best player. They got the best player in basketball. They won a championship last year. They're healthy. Why pick anybody else?
Mike, did you have something else?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Since I was getting a bunch of shots up, I wanted to make sure you weren't holding a bunch. But along those lines,
go ahead.
Yeah, along those lines, in the Western Conference, have we just determined collectively as a basketball community that Luka and the Mavs are the most dangerous, or shall we say the biggest threat to Phoenix? Phoenix has been the best team all year in the West. Do you look at Dallas and what Luka's doing lately and the way they're playing around him as they push for the third seed, that they are they're the biggest team to watch out for? Not that anybody's not paying attention, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, outside of Phoenix, if you had to pick a team, might be Dallas the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, who else are you putting on that list? I mean, the only other team you really fear, and with all due respect to how good Memphis has been, I think there's a learning curve coming for them. The theory of Golden State looms, right? Like, if you think that they can get healthy and Curry can come back and that their chemistry is baked in after all those years, the theory of Golden State is great. But we haven't really seen that team this year. So I'm loath to say, you know what, they can flip the switch, even though maybe they can. Maybe it is really baked in. But I'm less sold on that. Draymond Green he looked a little better the last couple games, but there were issues. Like the back still seemed to bother him a little bit, didn't it? Like he's just not quite the same guy. And that brings us to your guy. I mean, to me, that's the team. Luka has had huge playoff games before, has had monster games. That's a team. Now he's got some shooting and secondary playmaking with Spencer Dinwiddie and Jalen Brunson stepping up. And surprisingly to me, because I didn't think they'd be good at it, they're a good defensive team, guys. Like they're a pretty good defensive team. And they're going to need that in the postseason. And I think that might separate them a little bit. Especially if they can get up to the 3 seed and so they avoid Phoenix in the second round. I see a path through to the conference finals for them. But yeah, I agree. I think they're the most dangerous of the teams.
I mean, I got a question for you. I was going back and forth. I was talking with Michael about this on Friday. I just want to get your take on it. Silly thing. Kevin Durant says everybody should retire his number. Oklahoma City should retire my number. The Warriors should retire my number. And if I keep this thing going with Brooklyn, they should retire my number too. Do you agree with Kevin Durant? That because the Warriors thing, that's the one I have a problem with. You think they should retire his number after 3 seasons?
Yeah, 3 great seasons, but yeah, I'm kind of that's the one that question. Look, Oklahoma City, I kind of think unquestionable, right? Like I know they right now they've retired the Nick Collison jersey. There might be a couple more coming there. And Brooklyn, look, you got to make it work in Brooklyn, right? Like we'll see. I'm not writing it off, but it ain't there yet. But yeah, Golden State, look, you're retiring Curry, you're retiring Draymond, you're retiring Clay. I don't know if I'm, like you said, 3 seasons as a mercenary with a couple of titles and finals MVPs. So, I mean, there's a conversation to be had, but I'm not sold. I'm not sure that happens. I'm with you. I don't consider him the core of that era, right? Like that's Curry's team. Draymond and Clay are with him the whole time. I don't think of, even though he was the best player on those teams, I don't think of Durant as the guy who retired the jersey before. Like that level of franchise guy.
How long was Shaq in Miami? Didn't they retire his jersey? If I'm not mistaken.
Did they really?
I think so. They retired Dan Marino. Didn't they? Is there anybody that didn't retire?
You're talking about yeah.
I think Shaq is retired there, and yeah, that would be the same thing. Yeah. That was the one title up until LeBron came. Yeah, that was the one-off title. So I think they did.
If we had a Raptors here at Brother from Another, your jersey's hanging in it, brother. Thank you so much. We appreciate you dropping knowledge.
Hanging up there.
Hey, thanks anytime, guys.
Kurt. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.